Hey everybody, Jim from Jim's Coleus Coleus. You know, time is just flying by. You know, I just thinking this the other day. It's the middle of March, and I'm like, winter's pretty much over. If we get one snowstorm here in New Jersey, which we've had in the past, we've had one as late as April. But just looking ahead, it doesn't look like that's going to be the case. But anyway, I did a lot today. Just posted that earlier video on getting those vegetables. I just got a few peppers, nothing really to write home about. A couple of peppers and some basil. Just shout out to my son Vincent. My son's 19. He's a real hard worker. I think I did a pretty good job with him. He's going to culinary school. He works in an Italian restaurant as a waiter, wait staff, and also part-time chef at the Italian restaurant. Anyway, he's going to be leaving for Italy late May for the summer. He got the opportunity to go to Italy, Florence, to work with a chef there for the summer, which is really good for his resume. And that's not the only reason, but it's you know, for a young chef starting out, it's quite a feather in his cap. And just reach out and say, Vince, I'm proud of you. A lot of hard work, and we're going to give him a good reward when he gets back from Italy. We're going to buy him a brand new car, help him buy one. I don't give everything for free. You got to work. Got to teach him also, but he's a good kid. So shout out to my son. Anyway, so we just got a little basil for him when he comes home. He can cook up a nice Italian meal. I don't know if he's going to bring home an Italian wife. We'll see. I'm going to be watching some Godfather just to brush up on my Italian. Anyway, so today was really nice. I cleaned up the greenhouse a little bit. I took all my pots, my planters out. I mixed in some fertilizer into the pots, into the soil, and I placed them through my property for later on. And 99% of the rootings in my home are going to go into those pots. So stay tuned. We got plenty of that to come to. So I planted the vegetables, as you can see, and I did 2 trays of coleus for an American Cancer Society run that I sponsor, that I help sponsor in late May, early June. So I got about 50 coleus I donate to that cause as well. Greenhouse is coming along. Ordered a new thermometer for the wall, the old one just from the heat. And I also put some new plastic. I don't know if you noticed, but I put some new plastic on the door. There we go. Hey, that's like trying to be a weatherman. Put some new plastic on the front door because the old plastic, those butterflies that you see there, the paint ran down and stained the door, the plastic, and it was unsightly and it blocked some light. So putting new plastic on the front door. Rest of the plastic's in good shape. Cleaned up a little bit, got some organized for some of the bigger pots that I'm going to be using. I got some pots for later on. We're going to create once we get out into the greenhouse, and we create hanging baskets and pots for the farmers market. So real quick, let's go inside. It's not time to bring them out, even though it's warm out. It's 85 degrees in the greenhouse. It's still too early, and they're way too tender to go out. They're not hardened yet. Even if it's 40s at night and I have the heater on in there, they probably wouldn't do well. I'm not going to risk it. So anyway, let's go inside, take a look at the potted coleus. They really are looking fantastic. This year they look really, really good. I grew some new ones, got a lot of nice color coming in. So let's head inside and go take a look. All right, we'll start off with a wide shot here. This is only, I have 15 trays. 2 of them are going to the American Cancer Society. But again, here's 4, 5, 6, 7. I actually got this larger box my son brought home from the restaurant. And I'm like, you know what, I can use that. It holds a lot of pots. It's good, convenient to carry everything out when I do move to the greenhouse. So, but things are really looking good, as you can see here. We're going to get close in a minute. But everything's doing fabulously. I've been really taking it easy on the water and making sure they get enough light and making sure they're warm. Obviously, they're indoors, so you have to worry about the chill. So it doesn't get below 67 degrees in my house. So I would just get a little washout here from the sun in the background. Again, this window is amazing. Such great sun, and it's so warm. Plants just love it here. So here's a few of the trays. Things are looking good. There's some of the Saturn's ring seeds. If you remember back, if you're following along, you remember that I've been manually pollinating the seed stalks. Well, I still am. Just gently brush the little flowers, and just like an insect traveling, I help pollinate, and it really works because I got a lot of seeds, and that's what I'm growing here, some Saturn's rings. I love Saturn's rings, they're really cool. So you can see here, here's a Christmas candy. It's more of a Kong. You know, lime Sprite Kongs are similar to this too, but I believe that's more of a Scarlet Kong. We'll see how that grows. But there are the Bluebell Terranias, making sure they're in the sun because they want lots of sun. So those are doing real well. And as you can see here, you see how they're facing me? Well, I just rotated them around every day or so, every 2 days. Whichever ones are up top, I'll move to over here, and then the ones that are up top, I'll put down on the bottom here. And I do that when I take them all out on the table. Just so you know, this is like the system I do. Take them out on the table, go through them all, water them when they need it, every 2 days or so. Some may be a little more dry if they're sitting in sun. So I kind of look at them every single day, and if something looks dry, if one of them looks really, really dry, I'll just kind of dig down. You dig down an inch or two. If it feels really moist, then you're good for another day. But if you're not sure, just give it a little bit of water. It's always good to put a little in. Then, but these are really, really hardy. They're really on their way. I'm just starting off with these. We'll get to the table. These are like really the smaller ones. This is actually the 2 trays I just made up today. And these will be for the American Cancer Society. I have them marked off. So, and then there's another set. You can see how they're all facing towards the sun. So we'll move that around. Look at that. Look at the color. It's nice with the sun in the background. Kind of really good with that. You can get a good idea what the color is. Really beautiful. They're going to be going nuts soon. I'm going to run out of room here. So soon we need to get out to that greenhouse. But I time it pretty well every year. I've been doing this for over 10 years. And I just, when it gets to the point where I'm starting to lose space, it's time to go to the greenhouse. Okay, so here are the fairway mosaics. And I got like 2 trays. This is a little mix of some Kong Reds. And I believe those are the Jades. There might be some Christmas candy mixed in. Again, they're very, very close. Hard to tell sometimes. That's a Christmas candy, I believe. There's a Christmas candy. I think the Christmas candy has more of like that tree action going on it, like it has a jagged triangular shape, as opposed to the fairway mosaic, which is more bulbous, I guess. More bulbous. I do have a little bit of that action going on the edging, the scalloping, I guess we can call it, but there is a bit of a difference between them, and that's Coleus. There's so many sub-varieties that are so close to one another. So you can see, really, I mean, since the last video, those are the jade with the white center, sort of the lattice action going up the center. You can see that one is pretty dominant with the white. They showed up pretty quickly, and these others here are kind of slow, but you can still see that lattice white starting to come in. But you know, since the last video, they've really grown quite a bit. And again, water. The fertilizer is mixed into the soil, so I don't have to worry about that. Just making sure they're getting watered every few days. There's some crimson golds and a scarlet. So you can see they're pretty. They're close, but if you really look, you can tell the difference. But as they get older, more mature, they may be a little more difficult to tell the difference, especially that one there. There's a scarlet. That's a real dominant scarlet. Has a lot of purple up the center. These are going to be fantastic when they get older. Once they really start to branch out. Once I get them into another pot, their final pot. This really took off this year. This one. Look at that. That's a colossal. It's sort of like a colossal marble mix. There's a jitters. Those are from a plant, one of my own plants I bought. It's just for myself anyway. That one too. All right. And here's that other. These are all the vinos, the jet black, the real dark black vino. They're still smaller, but these were really tiny when I planted them last week. So they're really starting to come in. And there's that one I was telling you about, that showcase one, if you remember. It was really dark, and it's starting to lighten up a little. The camera really washes it out, but the center is much darker. I want to say it's like in the scarlet family. It's really dark in the center, but it's like almost like the vino, but it has that green. So. A lot of cool stuff here. So at this point, there's not a lot of difficult work other than making sure I water them every few days and rotate the trays. And that's it. Just let nature take its course. Against Coleus, or once you get them going, they're really easy to grow. Just, again, moderation in all of it. Light, moisture, and warmth. Especially the moisture. You don't want to overwater them. So yeah, you can see they're coming along nicely. Every few days it just they're growing. They are growing. There's no question about it. Everything looks fabulous. Just again, it's moderation. You don't want to give too much fertilizer. You don't want too much water, light. You don't want them baking in direct sun. Although this time of year, the sun is not strong. It's not intense summer sun. So it's okay if the sun is shining in, as you saw on some of the trays, because it's not that intense baking sun that's going to be sitting there for 10 hours roasting away at them. They would be fried. So but everything looks really, really good. And there's not really too much more at this point. Just maintenance, watering, rotating the trays around, making sure they all get enough light and different aspects of light. If I didn't do that, would it make a difference? You don't want all your plants, if I just left them, say, they would all be bent to one side. They would all be like laying over, and you don't want to do that. You want to move them around. Just like when they're outdoors, they move as the day progresses, the sun moves, so they're going to go also. So you want to exercise them. You want to get them used to being outdoors. So, and stay tuned, because before we know it, I'll be out here. I'll have my canopy set up, my table set up, just like here. And we'll be making pots up, hanging baskets, and so forth. I usually use 8-inch. It's up to you. I like the 8-inch hanging baskets because they're compact. They're big enough that I can plant 3 coleus, but they don't use a lot of soil. And hanging baskets really look nice. Also, those window box planters, you can get them at the dollar store. I'll try to get a link on here also. But the rectangular window box planters, those always do well. I'll put 3 coleus in them, and usually you can't even see the soil. So, all right, so stay tuned. More to come here. Just keep doing what you're doing. Any questions, comments, you know I'm here for you. Just leave a message here on Instagram, and stay tuned. Will be more to come. I'll check in next week and see how these babies are doing. Wait till you see the difference. All right, so everybody have a great weekend coming up. Enjoy, and thanks for watching Jim's Coleus Varieties.